can be smarter, we can be better. In terms of intrigues, see the way we organize our home, see the way we solve problems. I don't think men are better at managing intrigues, conspiracy, and all that, better than women. It's just that we are not present at the table. So when you have that opportunity to be at the table, pull your weight. Again, you can be part and parcel of the boys. You can be part of the boys' network. But don't forget to string women along. I mentioned it earlier. When I was working for Mr. Governor to be elected, what did I do? I went to all the women in my local government. I spoke to them. I told them that if you elect the governor, I will be your voice. I can speak for you. I can go to him and say, the women voted for you. And up to now, that is what I keep telling them, that since I'm there, that means you are there. I will make sure your interests are protected. So if we want to be powerful, we have to organize. That was what I said in the first instance, that for us as women, what does it mean to be inclusive? What it means is that we need to challenge the patriarchal dominance of political bodies. And we need to challenge it by having a well-organized movement, by not giving up. Several of my speakers emphasize that we cannot give up. We keep presenting our case. One of the speakers, I'm sorry, I've forgotten her name, she said, probably we have to take radical actions. I support that. Hello? Can you hear me?
Yes, please. Yes, please.
I hear
yes,
you, ma. Please go on.
Yes, please. Okay.
I support that. We sometimes have to take radical actions, not violent actions. We can occupy the spaces. Everybody has a wife, a sister, a mother, an aunt, a sister, and so on. So we project ourselves and work for ourselves. I asked a question, who are the people voting for the men? It is the women. We have to not push the blame all the time. Oh, it's the men who did not allow us to do this. It's the men who did not allow us to do that. In my state, slots were reserved for women candidates for House of Rep. Amazing. Now, no woman is going to the House of Rep. Why? The women voted for men. Mm-hmm. They voted for men. They didn't vote for the woman candidate. If they had voted for the delegates, the women delegates have voted en masse and recruit the he for she's, those we call allies, it will be a different case. So, in essence, the evolving role of women with the aim or with the expanding notion of governance need to include that neglected half. I did mention men are afraid. How do we allay the fears? They are afraid. Kazare said it. He said they are afraid that we are taking over. I've heard it from many men. They said, what do you people want? Now we have gender offices in many states. We should use that opportunity and lay their fears. The reason is that women are making money. Women are becoming breadwinners. Men don't like that. But how do we use that power, that financial power that we are now getting? We need to understand how to navigate the dynamics of power and not project it in a way that threatens men.
Thank you very much.
That's what I have to add. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Ma. And then just to say again that this floor is open for contributions from anyone, whoever is interested in making a contribution or asking a question, please just indicate by raising your hand. Thank you. Okay, so we have Mary Fikayo.
Hello.
Yes. Mary, please, what's your contribution? Mary Fikayo.
Are you with me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Can everyone hear me? Hello?
We can hear you, Mary. Please go ahead.
All protocol duly observed. I really thank Mr. Akin Fadeyi and all our
Okay.
Woman, Oluwatoyin Okewo. Madam Ba, thank you. Madam Bamidele for representing us well. God bless you. Yeah, our protocol duly observed, and I just want to say this. I've listened to everyone, and they spoke very well, and it really hits me as a person, and I feel challenged to do more. I feel challenged to speak more. I wish I have a girl child. I would have raised her in a way that she will become the best with all the mentalities that we were brought up with. And in this way, I think we are all talking about women. Yes, women must be inclusive. But do you know that a girl child is the one that will grow to be a woman? So I think we should start by catching them young. Let's catch them young. Let's carry this campaign to our primary school, secondary school, tertiary institutions. Women inclusive in society, let them know that they are important. They are the backbone. Men may be regarded as the head, but head cannot stand without the backbone. It will not stand. So let the orientation be there for our girl child. Let's carry out this. We can form a club for our female girls in schools, whereby we're orientating them as they are growing, because teach an adult is rigorous. But when you inculcate a mentality in a girl child, she will grow with it. And by the time you become a woman, to be inclusive, to participate, not to be intimidated, not to see herself as weak or inferior, it will be easy for her. So all these things.
Thank you very much. Okay, thank you so much, Mary Fikayo. I think we have learned from that we should learn to raise our daughters differently, so that those limiting beliefs, will not stand in their way of participating in government and also our allies. Thank you so very much, Mary Fikayo, for your contributions. So I'll be calling on Yusuf Olami next. Please remember that your contributions or questions should take only 1 minute. Thank you.
Good morning, everyone. Good afternoon, sorry. Thank you to all the speakers so far. Personally for me, I am one of the women advocates because I was raised by a woman. And like I said in one of my comments, personally, if my mom and my dad are contesting for political office, definitely I'm going to consider my mother before my father. I know them both. It is quite easier for women to get things done than it is for men. Some call me women rapper. I know what I've seen. I know how this is being done. But the question is, are the women ready? A woman used 100 million Nigerian money to purchase an APC presidential form only for her to go on stage and tell us that she knows Nigeria needs a mother at this present time, and she eventually stepped down for someone that is above 75. Who does that? Like, I don't know. Some women have turned themselves to political talk. They just want to be used. They don't even care. So I think this.
So sorry,
discussion.
I'm so sorry to stop you. Just we probably need to modulate the kind of utterances we're making use of. I'm a very, very strong advocate of mutual respect, within a civil platform. So, I mean, I know you don't mean any harm to any woman, but again, let's just modulate how we use our words. Thank you so much. So we don't call any woman a political thug, right? Thank you so much. Right.
All right. I apologize for that. So I'd like to continue. Like, if we are to start addressing this, we have to start from the women themselves. They have the numbers, they have the capacity. Like, if I start a business today and a woman start a business today, I can assure you that she's definitely going to prosper in that business before myself. you have the ability, you raise children, like you contribute more to the home than the men. And whatever is happening out there, we can eventually peg it on the women. So you guys need to stand up for yourself. Then we will support. A lot of us are willing to stand for you because we believe in you. So if we are to start advocating for women, women should start advocating for themselves.
Thank you very much,
your
Yusuf Alwami. Thank you so
We
much
trust
for your
you and we
contribution.
believe in you. God bless you.
Thank you very much for your contributions. So the question is also, he's asking, are women ready? And they would like to see that women show, that they are ready some way, and then the allies can come and support. Thank you so very much. I've got other people on, but first I'd just like to give an opportunity to anybody, one of the panelists, the discussants. Would you like to respond to his question of are women ready, or should I just go on to hear the next contribution? Okay, so
Hello.
Lillian. Okay, all right, Dr. Lillian.
Can I just say that I believe that women are more than ready in response to his question. However, there are certain things that keep them at a disadvantaged position. It's not every state, like the Honorable Commissioner said, that probably had those slots or things reserved for women. And if they were reserved for women, then perhaps women should have been coached into those positions, are prepared for those positions. So it's not, like I said earlier, it's not something that happens.
Just leave those small ones. Just come on the menu.
Please
mute. Please mute. Please mute. Let's mute, please.
Yeah, it's not something that happens ad hocly. So there has to be preparation, right? For preparation to meet opportunity, So there has to be that intentionality. I keep going back to that word in coaching, in grooming women for those positions. Whether we like it or not, there are societal inequities that exist between what a woman has access to and what a man has access to in our society. There are societal norms. Women take time off for childbearing, they lose pay, there's pay gap and all those things, They lose pay, they lose position in the workplace, they lose in whatever advancement of their career path. So there are certain things that kind of keep a woman in a disadvantaged position. Is it that there are not women that are capable? There are, but then there needs to be a deliberate attempt to bring such women to the forefront and to mentor and groom them for such positions. I don't know if a lot of women, just a handful perhaps, would have the wherewithal to do the money politics that permeates our society today, But if it were on a level playing ground, I would tell you that the women are ready. There are women there. We need to do more, definitely, because it's like a pipeline. There are few that have attained positions where you can easily, with little coaching, put them in such positions or aid them in getting to such positions. But like other speakers have said, it is a pipeline. We have to start from the families to challenge the gender norms and societal norms. We have to start from the schools to make sure that their leadership capacity are groomed and things like that before they even get to the point of being in governance. So we are ready, but there's a lot of work to be done.
Thank you so much, Dr. Lillian. I will call on our next one. Okay.
May I jump in or?
Okay, sure, Dr. Amina Salim.
Many thanks indeed, and please permit me to keep my my video down. Let me begin from the intervention from my brother Simon Kalaoli and his exasperation with the situation, and to say that one of the strategic things we're learning in the women's movement is to redefine winning. We have redefined what it means to win. And so winning is not always when you get into office or you get what you want, but the energy to even engage, the ability to come out and say, I have made the choice to run, the ability to also understand the positive narratives that are changing and to be mindful of them, otherwise they will regress. These are strategies that we have kept in view. So for example, since 1999, the number of women who have aspired for office has steadily increased. It has never dropped, whether at the councillorship level, whether at the State House of Assembly, or at National Assembly. That number has consistently grown. And that is a data, for the media to help pay attention to and to amplify and to show the power of possibility in there. We have so many organizations now that have gender policies that we didn't have before. It was in this country that a governor of the central bank made the conscious decision. My sister Lillian talks about intentionality, to say that, look, every board of every bank must have at least 2 women directors. And they found the women. So it is not that the women are not there. It is about when we find ourselves in certain positions, what we do with the opportunities that come to us. My brother Shotibo talked about the need to make the workplace, the formal workplace, a safe space for all women and all men. And that is a very important thing, because if we're looking at work as divided, we're looking at work as something unpaid in the house and work as something paid outside the house, and we're not connecting the two, we would never be able to grow a new generation of women and men who can support each other to really reach their full potential. So connecting the biological work of women with the social work of women is very important. And the point that was made about paternity leave becomes a very strategic thing to also think about. I wanted to speak quickly to the use of the law and the way it has worked for the women's movement. And I can almost say that if my sister Hadia Saudit hadn't dropped off, should have made this point. After the 2019 elections, the Nigeria Women's Trust Fund, she and I are members of the board of that trust fund, took the government of Nigeria to court to challenge the government for not keeping to its own policy of affirmative action 35%. And there's now a subsisting court judgment saying the federal government was wrong. All that we're waiting for is to get that court judgment, and some people are probably trying to ensure that that does not happen, but rest assured it's going to happen. We will get that court judgment, and it becomes a point of advocacy. If we get that court judgment in hand, and to my brother Chido's point earlier, what will the media do with it? I guess I'm throwing that question back to all of us. What will the men who are our allies do with it? What will we ourselves as women do with it? Because if there's something we have not done very well, it is to organize across differences as women, but we are organizing. We are organizing. And I would like to appeal to everyone on this call, all of us, to be very careful of the kind of language that we use, because language is power. And sometimes you might think it is harmless, but it is very harmful. I would like to see the measure of people who are very self-aware and very conscious of gender equity and social inclusion use language that recognize that we're not just he, we're also he, and we're also she. This is very important. It is not trivial, because when it comes to discrimination, the distinction is usually made clearly, and then the right prepositions are used. Second is to never blame the victim. And there are 2 ways in which we blame the victim. One, which connects to the work of Akin Fadeyi Foundation, is in terms of sexual and gender-based violence, where the fact that women, girls, and even boys are diminished in the home space through rape, through all forms of domestic violence, including battery, and we blame that person for maybe stoking the man, for maybe showing that she has the income and therefore annoying the man. I think that is very counter our agenda, because we are, first of all, both equally human. This is what we need to celebrate. If a woman has the means to provide for the family, it is no big deal, because it is your family. And it is not anybody's business who is providing for that family, right? Because the man also has the means, the man should also provide for the family. The same way that women experience violence, men also experience violence. A man loses his job. He cares for his family like nothing else, but he loses his job because of the bad economy, and society begins to dehumanize that man. That is also violence against a man that's going to have a ricochet effect. Again, we must emphasize our humanity in all ways, and no one is more superior to the other. And so I wanted to give that example of language. I'm very sorry, my sister Miriam, because I need to exit shortly. That is why I asked for the space to have this conversation. The other dimension in which, language also becomes very powerful is because we're also talking about the media in this context. And it is the kind of networks and the kind of reportage that we have. So we talked about the fact that women lose their network, or women don't know how to network. Women do network, but do you know why women lose their network? When you are a girl and you're called a miss, when you become an adult, society does not recognize that there is an expression for an adult woman. The assumption is that when you move from a miss, you become a missus. In having to satisfy society to become a missus, you lose your personhood, you lose your identity. In many cultures which are patriarchal, you're even expected to change your name. If you change your name and you used to be Amina Salihu, and then you became Amina Fadeyi, who is ever going to know that it's the same Amina Salihu when they were in secondary school? We lose our networks that way. I am a Muslim, and I'm very conscious of the fact that except it is a matter of choice, we do not need to change our names. And when you can't find each other, you lose your networks. So we need to teach our girls to aspire. We need to allow our girls to have negotiation skills. My brother Akin, when those young girls and boys that you want to nurture come together, teach them negotiation skills. If they're going to go into a relationship, let them think about prenuptial arrangements. The longest verse in the Holy Quran, my sister Saudat Mahdi would bear me witness, is also in the longest surah, Surah Al-Baqarah, and it talks about the importance of contracts and documenting contracts. We do not allow our girls or even our boys negotiate relationships. We push them because we think the status missus is an achievement. It is not an achievement. A marriage is only a marriage when it works, when it is happy. And so we need to think, I'm rounding up now. We need to think, therefore, about that ability to negotiate and to have voice and to have power. Because unless we do that, we're not going anywhere. I see my sister Saudati is back now, and when she has her slot, I'm sure she'll tell you more about the court case and how we're trying to use the law to actually force the affirmative action policy. But I'll stop here because I knew I've taken more than 5 minutes. I thank you for the opportunity.
Yeah. And just before you take over, Miriam, I want to say thank you so much to Dr. Amina Salihu. For all of you saw our flyers out there, you kept seeing with support from Akato Foundation, all the work we do, our capacity to bring interventions to vulnerable women in Nigeria and young girls, were all funded by Makato Foundation. All the work we're still going to do will be funded by Makato Foundation. Dr. Amina Salihu is one of the most dignifying human beings I've met in my entire life. And you could see her calling everyone my brother, my sister, my brother, my sister. It's not a charade. That's what she will do even when you link with her on the phone. She's so wonderful. Thank you for all the support from Makato, Dr. Amina Salihu, and give our regards to Dr. Kole Shatima and all our colleagues in the partnership. We really appreciate you for joining us on this call. Sure. And let me assure you that you asked a critical question. What will the media do with the court judgment that we're expecting, that we do believe will be positive? We will galvanize that space.
It's already positive, my brother.
We will galvanize that space. We will galvanize that space to ensure that it's out there. Number two, we have plans now to use our studio to commence a very aggressive mobilization of Nigerians to understand the Electoral Act, everything it says. Before 2023, Nigerians will be well informed. We know we're literally taking on the job of National Orientation Agency, but we're working in concert with them to ensure that citizens are well educated. Because if people don't know, then they lack the power that information should place at their disposal. We've set up the studio, we've set up all the electronic tools and instruments with which we'll be live streaming, presenting everything Nigerians need to know about the forthcoming election, about the Electoral Act, about their rights. We're also going to use our Flagit app. We're going to deploy it in this election such that you can report incidences from polling booths and send to us. We have a whole lot coming up. And like I said, everyone on this call should hang on, don't go. We have a very big announcement to make that will showcase your capabilities to the world. You might just pick your next political appointment from this project we're about to launch. So stay tuned as we go on. Thank you so much. Miriam, go on.
Thank you so much, Mr. Fadeyi. We'll take one last contribution for those who've been raising their hands, and I will take Mr. Kaide Akinropo. But please do remember it's 1 minute, and for every other person who's raised their hands, please could you send your contributions and questions to the group, and we would attend to them after. Thank you very much.
I'm so sorry, Miriam. I'm so sorry, Miriam, because Kaide is my friend. Let me cheat him.
Okay. Okay.
Let me cheat
so let me take
I like to call Mr. Dakorotifa for this reason.
Okay.
He joined from the diaspora. He didn't sleep just so he can be at this event. Just as Tracy Dutchev, the executive director for New Life Wellness Place in Toronto. I mean, a lot of my friends from the diaspora had to just stay awake just so they could be part of this. So I like us to just give them priority. I'm so sorry, not because they're from the diaspora, but because they sacrificed to be a part of this. But trust me, you'll be given opportunities to contribute. Those of you that are on this call, let's just make sure we manage the time well, because our panelists will still have to respond to your questions. Uncle Dakwo, please, you have the floor, sir.
I'm still here, Akin and Miriam. I've managed to steal somebody's network.
No problems, Ajia, so that's it.
Okay.
We're happy you stole it. Nobody will prosecute you on my watch. Just be here. Just be here while Uncle Dakwo takes the floor. Uncle Dakwo, it's okay. Over to you now. Yeah. Mr. Dakorotifa, can you hear me, or is he muted?
Sorry about that. I didn't know I was muted.
Okay, sure.
I was going to say it's not a big deal that we deny ourselves some sleep just to be part of it, because it's very critical, and then we have big respect for you and for what you're doing and for your team. So Dr. Amina Saliu talked about women making about up to 75% of the voters in the country. I just, Madi talked about allyship, and Chibamidele share experience of galvanizing women at in Ondo State. And so, which really worked for her. And I want to, my contribution is about allyship for women. How can they galvanize themselves to form political allyship with a particular political party? They do it here in the United States. Okay. I think in the current Congress, we have about 24 senators, and we have 16 of them are from Democrat, and Republican produce only 8. And in the Congress and the House of Representatives, I think we have about 123. 90 of them are Democrats, while about just a third of it from Republicans. So you will see that for a very long time, the women group, the women have seen Democrats are promoting their interests more than Republicans. The Democrats gave us the first vice president, first Black Supreme Court justice, and even the first Black women senator came from the Democrats back then. So urban women here, they have seen that no matter what, we're talking about abortion, something now in the United States, and you see that Democrats are in the forefront fighting for women's rights. So my question is to Chibamidele. what you did in Ondo State to galvanize women towards your political party, how can that be replicated on national level so that women will not, I'm not recommending whether it's APC or PDP, but women can start to form some allyship with some political parties that cater for their interests, and then that's where they should be directing their vote to. Biden would not have been president today without contribution of women. So we need to start to see that. How can what you did be replicated on the national level? Thank you.
All right. Thank you very much. I don't know if I just would like to use this opportunity just because of time to say that if we've had some of our panelists who haven't said anything beyond their opening remarks, we have Tracy Dotchev, I would like Dr. Madi, Dr. Chido, and Mr. Adekunle to go to make their closing remarks, 1 minute closing remarks, and also maybe attend to the last question in your closing remarks. Thank you. So, Tracy Dotchev, would you like to start? Okay. Okay, if she's not there, could we have Dr. Saudat Badi?
Okay.
Like to go? Okay, good. Tracy.
Oh, Tracy's back.
Yep,
Okay.
sorry, I was talking with my mute on. Thank you, everyone. I was saying it was a lovely experience for me to hear all of this, so much similarity with what I have experienced in Canada. Women across the world experience similar things. One final point that I wanted to support was from Mr. Shotubo about the need for harassment policies in the workplace. And that is something that we've experienced in Canada, is that when women get into politics, the vitriol that they are the recipients of can be quite incredible. Death threats, rape threats, violence threats, it's not a safe space for them to be working. And so I think that may be one of the challenges that we face. I don't know about in Nigeria, that we need not only the it is a workplace. So how do we make this public space, which is a workplace, how do we make it safe for people to be willing to do the things that they need to do to ensure equity for us? So that was my final comment. Thank you again for the invitation, and looking forward to hearing the rest of the conversation. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Could we have Dr. Saudat Madi?
Thank you, Miriam. I'm not a doctor. I'm just Saudat Madi.
Oh, thank you.
I'm not. I think I'll just quickly wrap up what Amina has said I should do. You know, she's our boss. She left an assignment for me to talk to the issues of trying the legal waters for changing the dynamics of women in politics in Nigeria. When we hazarded the attempt, it wasn't easy. Some challenges came through about, can we take the government to court? Because in the 2003 and the 2007 elections, we attempted to have women from their political parties who were, disenfranchised, whose mandates were taken off them after the primaries and before the primaries, to go to court so that we can try the legal waters. It didn't happen. Because again, the women are not sure. Can I make it across the party? Would I be able to get a position should the party win the elections? All the ifs were there. And of course, what everybody keeps saying, the numbers did not work. The affirmative action legal case against the federal government is a landmark case. And if, like Amina has said, we're able to sell it and we can use Akin Fadeyi, we can use the media of Nigeria, we can use our own platforms to really propel. We are waiting for the what you call the certified true copy of the judgment, so that we can pick out the pieces that can be the message lines for us to tell Nigerians that it is no longer okay for the federal government to lay a blind eye to its commitment in the Constitution, and also in its commitment at international levels. The second thing I want to also address is in terms of politics, is women's cohesion. Like I started saying before the network failed me, when women coalesced, we saw what happened even at the grassroots level in Enugu with the Ebenebe women who rejected the bribe from the political parties and stood by the candidates they believe will represent their interests. So if more of that can happen, if we can get people to understand that when women speak as one voice, we must be listened to and we can be listened to. The third thing I'm also thinking around and saying we need to address is the political parties themselves. Nigerian politics and politics the world over is based in the political parties. Our political parties do not yet believe, because they're afraid of what they say is at the grassroots level where they need to win their elections. They do not believe a woman can be a candidate that wins their election. And I think that is being put to the test, because even as we speak, in Zamfara State, where for the last 6 elections, a woman has never stood an election, a woman has stood and gotten a gubernatorial candidate ticket. It may not be a big party, it may not be a reality, but the fact that we have won, and that's when Amina speaks to winning, the redefine winning. We define winning by how many barriers we have been able to overcome. One of them is the notion that religion or tradition will not allow us to excel. So women need to coalesce, women need to have cohesion, and then the most important is this safe and decent? Many women shy away from going into politics because it is defined as a dangerous game. It is a game for vagabonds, some people say. I think this is not with any direction to anybody, but they say it's a dirty game. And women probably would not want to play dirty games. Or we can change the narratives. When people refuse to put their sons and daughters into their campaigns, it means they know that they want to do the evil by giving narcotics to the children of other people to be thugs and vagabonds for them. So we need to, as women, show the way and make politics safe and decent. It is not enough that the man who has stolen so much money, or the political godfather who has spent so much on money on any candidate can come and decide what happens. Women have to come out and really, really make the space safe. And I like the notion about alliances from our brother who spoke to alliances. Up to the 2015 elections, we tried to form alliances with at least 5 major political parties. But what would happen? Yes, they had it in their constitutions and their manifestos, but to implement became an issue. So again, we have to go back to the legal waters. All in all, I think what women need to do is 1, organize. 2, keep our cohesions tight. 3, ensure that when we play the game, we make it safe and decent. We decry and we also debunk the position that it's a dirty game. It can be a clean game, and we can play it clean. Number 4, we should be able to play the game differently by counting our losses and counting our wins, no matter how small they are. And finally, be courageous. Let us, put our foot out there. It's hard, but I doff my hat to those women who have made it, and we will continue to stand by them. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Sote Tumadi. So the next person I'll call is Dr. Chido Onuma. Please, Dr. Chido, could we keep it to 1 minute? Thank you.
I'll try. Thank you very much. Yeah, just to say, I thank the organizers for this, and to say that we can't have enough of this kind of conversations. We need to realize that every victory that women have won, and indeed any victory that humans have won, has been the product of struggle. We need to continue to do serious advocacy on this issue, but it's important that we realize that the woman or gender question is not a woman or gender question. It's a national question. It's not a struggle to be left for women alone. It's a national question. And to that extent, we need to be creative. We need to look for, look at best practices or good practices around the world and see how we can tailor them. But it's important that we organize, organize, and organize, to quote the internal words of our late comrade and older brother, Dr. Tajuddin Abdurrahman. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. We have one last person before I wrap up this session today, and that is Mr. Adekunle Shotubo.
Okay, thank you. I'm going to try with a video this time and see what it does. But just like Mr. Onuma and IGR said, out has said, I think one critical factor in all of this is legislation. If you look at the countries that have succeeded, they really worked on legislation. You know, it's something different to try to sell a direction, and it's another thing to put in enabling legislation to ensure that it becomes something that has legal guidance and can be enforced. Look at Rwanda. You know, they started by saying 30% of positions in the parliament should go to women. Well, guess what? They ended up getting, I think it's between 48% and maybe even 53% from 2000 and from when they started up to 2016. So that's been wonderful. And I spoke about some of the gains in the oil industry. It came through policy, deliberate policy. Some of those policies are written as performance targets for senior managers and for people in executive management. So it's not just to speak about it, it's to legislate it, make it into policy, and then make sure that it is driven by people with conviction. And the only way you can do this is to organize, is to create awareness, and is also to look at the power structure of some of these parties, some of these House of Assemblies, and seize that power structure using your influence. And that's what I think will work. Thank you very much. And thanks to the organizers for having me.
Thank you. Thank you so very much for all your contributions, our panelists. We have, I mean, thank you so much. I have learned so much, you know, from your contributions, just great insight. So I'll tell you just in a few words what I am leaving here with. I've learned today about intentionality. If we want to see more gender inclusive governance, we have to be intentional about the way we raise our women, raise our allies. We need to be intentional about mentorship. We need to be intentional about legislation and the policies that recognize and understand what I hear is like the physiological differences that women have, and the policies need to be made to accommodate that so that women can do their best, you know, in the political sphere. And then lastly, in order to make all this possible, we need to organize, we need to continue to create awareness, we need to support, we need to participate. Thank you so very much, our panelists and discussants, for your time and your contributions today, and all the questions. I see that many people still have questions. Please do not forget to drop the questions. We will attend to them after the event, the live event. But finally, I'm going to call on, as you are aware, there's a competition called What She Can Do competition. And I'm going to call on, sorry, we need to get her name. Okay, so the What She Can Do competition, first of all, I had mentioned it earlier, but
her name is, sorry, her name is Esther Alaribe.
Esther
Alaribe. Alaribe. Esther Alaribe from Women Radio FM.
Okay, so she's going to unveil this competition. It's What She Can Do. So this is a competition. We're asking women from 18 years and above to make a 1 to 2 minute video, post it on their social media, and tag the Akin Fadeyi Foundation to tell us what they would do if they were given an opportunity to, you know, be in power as a president, a governor, a minister, any part of government. And then there's so many prizes to be won. She would go ahead and give us more information. Thank you so very much for joining us, all of you.
Yes, good afternoon, everyone. Insightful conversation so far. Well done, Miriam. Hello?
Yes, we can hear you.
All right, yes. As we have seen and we have heard, there is need now more than ever to ensure that we continue advocating for women inclusion in governance. So many women interest groups, so many organizations. We have the Nigerian Women Trust Fund. These organizations so far have been so actively involved in ensuring that women inclusion in governance is the thing. Just like Dr. Amina Saliu mentioned and Hajia Sadautu Madi, yes, the litigation process, we had about 7 plaintiffs who took the federal government to court, asking them to stick to their words on the 35% affirmative action for women. Yes, on the 6th of April, judgment was passed this year in favor of the women. But now we're getting reports that this judgment might be appealed very soon. What it means is, in a society where we have almost half of the population as women, we still find it very hard to give women 35%. When we have other African countries like Rwanda, South Africa, Senegal, doing more than that already. In Rwanda, we have about 50% of women already. But here in Nigeria, we still struggle with 35% affirmative action for women. When people ask, what can women do in the political space? There is a whole lot that women can actually do. But let's ask ourselves the questions. Let's look around in the political space. Are we really ready to give women that space? The lack of political will is just written everywhere. The lip service that we pay to women inclusion in governance, yes, we see it everywhere. But to this end, narrowing it down to this competition tagged what women can do, yes, now is the time for women to actually show up and tell the society what we can do. Every time you look around in your society, there is a woman somewhere doing something. The gender pay gap, the unpaid labor, so many things that women get to do that nobody even gives credit for, simply because you are a woman and you should actually do all of these things. Yes, so now we are unveiling this competition, what women can do. I'm urging us this afternoon, tell every woman within your network, you can post it on your social media platforms. We encourage women within the ages from 18 and above. Yes, take to your social media platforms, record yourself within 1 minute or 2 minutes, telling Nigerians what you would do if you were in the corridor of power, if you had access to the decision-making tables. Let's think about it this way. We have men on decision-making tables, making decisions for women. Yes, I know you can say you have a woman in your life, but you cannot see things clearer than a woman who is in that position. So yes, we want women to take to their Instagram pages, social media pages generally, telling us in a minute or two what you would do if you were on a decision-making table, the kind of policies you would implement, the kind of strategies you want to see that you would implement for national growth and development, the kind of provisions you will make for women and children, persons living with disabilities, the young, the elderly. What kind of policies would you implement? What strategies? Yes, we know over time we've allowed the men take over the helms of affairs, but what have they really done, if we're being honest? What have the men done? It's not a competitive effort right now, but instead let's look at it as we collaborating. But over time, the political space has just been pitted against women. So now I am urging us, let's tell more women about this. Let the women upload their videos on their social media pages, tag at AF Foundation NG, get people to like, comment, and share. Share the links to people so they can comment and also like it for you. Now, this is because we are going to be selecting based on the highest number of likes each video gets. So the more likes your video gets, the higher your chances of being selected. So first, 10 selections will be made. So the first stage entry will start today up until the 26th of July, 2022. Now, out of this 10 that are going to be selected, we're still going to pick 5 winners after a week based on your number of likes and engagements. I really look forward to the kind of ideas and strategies that women will be churning out based on this competition. We have a whole lot of us. We have about 97 of us currently on this platform. If all of us put together in our different spaces, our different platforms, can tell more women about this competition, think about the number of videos we'll have there. Very sure people will be wondering what exactly is going on. So yes, let's urge women to ensure that they start from today, start posting your videos and tag at AF Foundation NG on social media. And yes, we really hope that at the end of this, just like Mr. Akin Fadeyi mentioned the other time, that we will see women who will get into some kind of political position or get appointed because of the kind of brilliant ideas that they bring forward. Thank you so much, everyone.
Thank you so much for that. That is, and to everyone who is still on this call and has joined us up till now, that is the unveiling of this beautiful competition. And as she has said, as Esther has said, please go forward to share this and ensure that everyone in your network is aware of this competition. And we're doing it most importantly, not just for the likes. Actually, this is one competition that is not about the likes. It's about pushing women's voices out there. We want every woman to have a voice, and we want their voices to be heard across all platforms into political spaces, and let them start to see, both young and both young and old, and let them start to see that these voices are important, and maybe we start to integrate those same voices into the political space as they are. So thank you so much for the competition. We're going to wrap up this conversation and wrap up this event by calling the Executive Director of Akin Fadeyi Foundation to have the floor for the closing remarks. However, before I hand over to him, once again, I want to say thank you to all our speakers. Please do not leave now. We're just going to have the closing remarks and then we can let you go. So thank you to speakers and thank you to all that have contributed. And for those who wanted to say more and contribute more, we will tweet some of your contributions online after this event. So please ensure that you put them up on our WhatsApp group on the screen. And also, if you have not taken out the time to fill out the attendance, that's how we're going to be reaching out to you. So please do that. Thank you so much for that. And finally, I'll give the mic over to Mr. Akin Fadeyi to give us our closing remark. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Tommy, but where's the mic?
On air.
All right. That's fine. The first thing I'd like to say is to express my personal profound apologies to all of you who have your hands put up, but that were not able to call. It's just because we're struggling with time. Like I said, a lot of people have to wake up in the middle of the night. Some didn't even sleep. Then there has to be a time. There has to be a time limitation for any event, right? So I was chatting Miriam in the back end to say, Miriam, call them. But Miriam just snubbed me. Like, we have to wrap, just so that people can face other things. But I assure you, this is not the last of this. We're going to have an open house where we just throw it open for everyone to start airing their views. It will not just be limited to panelists alone. Let me, I have to start this conversation by giving you those apologies first, because if you weren't here, then we would have no events. Now, having said that, let me go to all my friends and guests that are here. We are exceptionally grateful to Chief Mrs. Bamidele Olateju, the Honorable Commissioner for Information and Orientation in Ondo State, for being true to herself, for having that capacity to tell you, I will be there, and she's there. This is not our first engagement. We've always had this kind of conversations, and she will be there. She called me 2 days ago to say, I just want to confirm the time. I said 11, and that was it. She's here. Thank you so very much to my very good friend, Lillian, Dr. Lena Alonachi from TA Connect, Executive Director, funded by Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation. I can't thank you enough. We've had this relationship for close to a decade, and Lillian always came through in anything that we lay our hands on. Thank you. I like just saw that to Madi. I call you auntie, but you take me like a friend. and you are always so down to earth, but at the same time, so unassuming. Thank you so much. Mr. Adekunle Shotubo, thank you for always being there for us. Anything we post, you share it. The way you play on Facebook, no one will even know your worth. you are a huge role model in terms of humility and how you combine that with rare intellect. I'm yet to understand. Thank you so much, Tracy Dorchev, my very, very good friend, for staying awake to do this for us. You don't have an idea how flattered we are. Thank you so much for sharing insights from the diaspora. I'm sure that we're comparing notes, and this can only turn out the best in all that we're trying to do in Nigeria. Thank you so much, Dr. Chido Onoma, for always responding with just a phone call from us. We're partners and will continue to be. And like I always say, the Akin Fadeyi Foundation's platform is open for continued, consistent collaborations. And we are making available our capabilities for productions now to ensure we put out the works of partners. Please feel free to take tremendous advantage of this. Thank you so very much, our board chairman, Mr. Simon Kolawole, for all the back-end conversations we had, and for making sure that you make yourself to be part of this. Now, the last but not the least in love is Dr. Amina Saliu. We can't thank you enough. I've mentioned it. MacArthur has invested heavily in Nigeria. MacArthur has invested heavily in us, and we will continue to do this just so that we'll make it to be worth their while. Now, the competition we've announced. Let me thank you, all of you, for partnering this voice to showcase yourself. It is not about the gift that you will get. We've announced that there will be iPhone 13 to give the first position. There will be makeover wardrobe, worth 500,000 naira for the second position. There will be Estee Lauder or Mark makeup worth 300,000 naira for third position. Fourth and fifth position will win gifts worth 150,000 and 100,000 naira, respectively. The last five, excuse me, please. The last five that didn't make it, you know, we said from all the entries we will receive, we'll shortlist the best 10. When you are submitting your video, speak about anything you're convenient about. You know you can bring positive impact into governance from agriculture, say it, from power, say it, electricity, from education, healthcare, security, whatever you're convenient with, say it, make your pitch. If I am the president, this is what I will do to make Nigeria better. What women can do. 2 minutes, 3 minutes, post it on your social media handle. Just tag us. Tag Akin Fadeyi Foundation on Facebook. Tag all the social media handles that have been mentioned. We're still going to promote this on Twitter, on Instagram, on Facebook. So just be on the lookout. When we select the entries, the 10 best will enter you into a grand finale and ask you to speak about what we do about corruption. And then we'll select the best 5. But be sure of this. The first to fifth position will win these prizes and is convertible to cash if that's what you want. The last 5, you still get honorarium for participating. So it's not going to be a winner's take all. Thank you for happening to that voice, for you to showcase yourself. Don't forget, because it's on the information superhighway, cyberspace, it will go everywhere. You have no idea which politician can call you to say, oh, wow, I watched you on the internet. I'd like it to be SA something for me, SA power, SA agree, SA whatever. So you're going to get tremendous visibility from this because we will promote you heavily. So I thank you that you will join this. I can never thank my colleagues enough. The only reason we are able to do this job is because I have very, very wonderful colleagues. Oluwatomi Okeowo, our head of programs, that is seated here, is ideally on maternity leave. We dragged her to come and said, Tommy, sorry, you have to be part of this. Just so that if we keep you at home, you are not going to make another baby quickly. Just come. And she came, you know, and she's been part of the preparation. Dear Kulola, Grants and Communications Manager, has been sleepless over this. Dear Kulola was still taking injections yesterday night. Yes, she's pulling this through with us. Our Finance and Accounts Manager, Ernest, is a utility machine. It does everything and everything. My colleagues, Kumbi and Courage, all wonderful people. Our graphics artist, Oluwakayode, can work till anytime. These are wonderful people that make it easy for this job to get done. Thank you very much, Mutunrayo Alaka from Wole Institute for Journalism for being here and investigative reporting for being here. Thank you very much, Diola Fayeon, who's been partnering with us. Thank you very much, Miriam Lunge, from the co-host at TVC, for making yourself available for all the conversations before we add this. Thank you, Miriam Adeboye from Kwara State. Thank you, Halaja Sarumi, Lama Sarumi Jumai from Gahaj International Stores in Kwara State. Thank you, Daniolo. Thank you. I don't even know. I can just begin to mention names upon names. Thank you, Dr. BC Eshuro Show, who joined us from the United Kingdom. Thank you, Oluwatoyin Abayomi. Thank you, Oluwatoyin Ndidi. You are always there for us. Thank you, Blessing Omowumi. Thank you very much. Oroluwa Alade. Thank you so very much, Irad Admi. Thank you, Helen Oladele. Thank you, Tinu Badejo. Thank you, Coco. Thank you, Yemi Michael. Thank you, Sahida Adetayo. Shola Bodier and Rebecca. Ogeriaki Aisha, my very good friend from the United Kingdom. Thank you. Dr. Pule Ojale from Canada. Thank you. Nika, thank you. Taiwade Bulu from the Cable. Thank you. Mary Amos. Anayo Ezugu. Bimpe. Tosin Tume. TF. Kelechi Deka. Thank you. Omoye Ohiku. Thank you. Thank you, Omolara Okuni. Thank you, Lois. Thank you, Falila Bakari. Thank you very much, John Cyril Ulo. Thank you, Grace Michael. Thank you, Olori Temitope Adewusi. Thank you, Dewumi Lagos. Thank you, Jennifer Matthias. My big boss, Ololade Bamidele, thank you very much for all the back-end support you give us. Thank you. Ejide Gbenga Ogundari, thank you. Abisola, Legal Practitioners and Company. Wale Akinola, Deputy Editor Legit, thank you. Babalola Titilola, Babatunde Titilola, Happiness Ngboji, thank you so much. Mr. Latunji Okwe, thank you. Yusuf Mubarak Authority, I saw your hand up. I'm sorry you were in call, but trust me, I'll give you opportunities to express yourself. Thank you for making it. Nida Samuel, Awe Caroline, Chiwendu Esther, Dami Adamolekun, Mr. Wale Legbede, Mr. Simbolo Femi, my good boss, Mrs. Fumi Hector Olukoya, Funke Temi Olushola, thank you for all you do for us. Gorgeous OJ, thank you. Thank you so much. Women Radio, you deserve an applause. Give a very strong and big regards to Tom Okewale for lending all the support to us. We're just starting. We have a lot of promo to do because of this competition. Thank you, the Nigerian media, for being here. Thank you for all the support you've been giving us. Thank you for always making yourself available as a strategic vehicle of communications. We really appreciate everyone. I would like to wrap by saying this. Lee Kuan Yew said to Singaporean youths, when you want to marry an educated woman. The meaning of that is this. For you to be able to seize political power, you need to consistently improve yourself. The world has gone far It is only those who can bring intellect to the table that can bring about innovation for change. So please, we will offer a platform for you to get out there, but improve yourself. The data you use on Facebook, use it to improve yourself. Be part of this competition. You'll be glad you did. On this note, I say till we meet again in a very short time from here. Bye from me. Thank you.
Thank you so much to the Executive Director and CEO of Akin Fadeyi Foundation, Mr. Akin Fadeyi himself. We really appreciate you and thank you for all the support you have given us to this event. Thank you all for joining us. I think that we have come to the end of this program. Once again, thank you to all our speakers. Thank you to our moderator. Thank you to our personnel, you participants, because this event will not have been possible without you. So thank you so much. Once again, please look at the terms and conditions of the competition and join us as we go forward with this competition. Thank you so much. And also, as partners and organizations, we are open for collaboration. So should you want to collaborate with us in promoting this event or collaborate with us in doing many other things that we do at Akin Fadeyi Foundation, we would love to have you. Thank you so much and have a wonderful day ahead. Thank you.
Have you been out to vote?
No.
So tell me, what is my patriotic husband still doing at home while the elections are ongoing?
Oh, well, I've been following the television analysis. Ruben Kiribati is speaking grammar.
And you?
I gave them my own arguments. Oh, and they could not take it.
You claim you want different results, yet you won't change the pattern.
All the ones that we voted until now. You know that?
Elections are not won by arguing on social media. Elections are won when you take that your one single vote and add it to a pool of larger votes. That's how you win elections.
Get me my paper.
This message is from Akin Fadeyi Foundation with support from Mark Arthur Foundation.
From north to east, from southeast to south.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to this history-defining moment. Let's ask ourselves this critical question. If Nigeria was a business since independence, would we say that our leadership have turned it into a profitable venture? Today, we take Nigeria as seriously as we take a business. We are therefore on a search for who will become the next president of Nigeria. We'll ask each of our candidates to step up and tell us why we should vote for them as the next president of Nigeria.
I want to be your president because it is my turn.
I'm a chartered accountant and I have a PhD and 3 degrees from University of London. Yes, I'm very learned.
If we elect you as our president, what do you go do for us? Tell us.
After this, you come to me, I'll change your life. Yes, I believe it's with tit for tat. You know, you rub my back, I rub your back, you know, because you can't know me and I'm in power and I will not help you.
The woman who stands before you today is a strong advocate for meritocracy and true democracy. I have the capacity to serve and to lead the good citizens of this country and to ensure that we make Nigeria great. Since our independence, over 400
billion of oil revenue has been lost to corruption. Amongst many other factors, I personally think that there are 3 factors that are very critical to national development. We have stable power, we have smooth transportation system, and mechanized agriculture. I do not need to stress the need to radically diversify this economy. Yes, we need to turn efforts from the ever-fluctuating oil exports and focus our efforts on growing other revenue-generating sectors that can make viable exports. What are we doing as a community, as a nation, to make sure our young do not decline into drugs and delinquency? Because you see, education is the passport to a future. And that is why my team, I will work tirelessly with a well-meaning team that would ensure that innovative educational opportunities are put at the fore. My sisters, my brothers, you see brain, you see heart, they don't get gender. Yes. Good governance, no get gender. Yes. Anybody, male or female, that is passionate, patriotic, and capable can lead this country. As long as we have the poor, the vulnerable, the marginalized, especially our brothers and sisters living with disabilities, at the focus of our policy, anybody, male or female, can lead this country. Ladies and gentlemen, if I am elected, rest assured that I will run a government that is accountable, transparent, and is given solely to the equitable fight against corruption. It will be my privilege to serve you, Nigerians.
Madam, go and take your form. We will vote for you.
Yes. This message is from Akin Fadeyi Foundation with support from Mark Foundation.
From north to east.